Well, good evening, folks. It's 7 o'clock in Queensland. I notice that our co-host Andrina Forrest is not here, and that's because it's the 1st of May in the UK, and she's made her way to Reef for the May Day Festival. And as a consequence, she said, "Could you step in with a new show?" And she's asked our guest Steve to come in at another time. Well, you might believe it. The reason we're having the show today is my guests are Cameron Monley and Bruce Richardson. And we're doing something quite extraordinary. We're sailing from the Gold Coast to Darwin. And to tell us all about it, we'll start with our skipper, Bruce, who's been a doyen of sailing with grandfather and father. And he's been at it for quite some time, and he's going to tell us all about that. And then he's going to explain how he knocked on his neighbour across the road, a guy called Cameron Monley, and said, "Would you like to grab your mate? And let's do this trip to Darwin." So without further ado, let's introduce Bruce.
Well, good evening all from the good ship The Pub. We're just anchored at present in North Keppel, Considine Bay. And we're all heading to Darwin, and then some of us are still going up to the Kimberley, which is just north-western part of Western Australia, quite a nice area. Well, this all started about probably about a year ago. Let's go to the Kimberleys this year, in 2025, and that's started thinking about it. Got to find crews that'll prepare to take time off work and time off whatever they're doing, leave their loved ones at home or their girlfriends at home or whatever the case may be, for a couple of months. So we plan on being in Darwin in the end of June. So we've got almost 2 months, or exactly 2 months, I guess, to get there. So to find the crew, we'll just talking around, you look at different websites, and then Cameron, who's my neighbour across the road, said, "Yeah, I'm in, I'll do that. I think we're playing cards one night," whatever the case may be. And he said, "Yeah, I'll be there." Well, that was nice. There's one person. And I said, "We've got to find someone else. A male or a male and a female, another couple, whatever we could find." And then Cameron found a very good friend of his that he's known for a long time, Jeff Shaw, who is hosting this program. So that was our 3 people. And we've each got our own cabin. And it filled out quite nicely. Three we can operate this vessel. It's a Katana 42S, for those who know anything about sailing or boating. It's an older boat, but built in France, and it's got a very good pedigree. We left on the 22nd of April, which was the day we planned it. We got it all sorted in time. We just went out to up the east coast to Fraser Island, came inside of Fraser, and then up through Sandy Straits and out to Musgrave. We spent one night? Only one night. We spent one night at Musgrave. No, we spent 2 nights at Musgrave, and then we went to Fitzroy Lagoon. Now, for those who don't know the bunker group, Musgrave is one of the nicest areas you can have. It's an island, probably about 400 by 400 meters, egg-shaped, and it's got a very big lagoon that holds a lot of boats. So we spent a couple of days there, and then sailed up to, we had the wind right on our heads, so we ended up sailing up to Fitzroy, which is another lagoon, very narrow entrance, and no island whatsoever. High tide, you can't see any land around you, but it's still protected by coral all the way around you. And then we sailed into, next day we sailed into North GKI, Great Keppel Island. Stayed there overnight, went ashore, had a quick look, and then into Roslyn Harbour, buy some goodies, do some washing. Left there this morning. When did we leave there? Yesterday morning. No, this morning, wasn't it? And stopped out here at North Keppel, which is a great little spot. And we plan on going all the way through to the Whitsundays over the next about 4 days. We'll head up to a place called Pearl Bay tomorrow, which is on the coast, and then do an overnighter and arrive at the southern end of the Whitsundays. We'll be staying there for 3 or 4 days around the Whitsundays, but we've got to keep going. It's a long way to go. We're up to the tip of Australia and around the Cape York a little bit, and then across to Nullarbor or Gove, and then we go across the top of Australia, across Arnhem Land. For those who know Australia, it's mostly Aboriginal across there. Go across to Arnhem Land, and then Port Essington, and then down into Darwin. And that'll take us 2 months. And we'll be moving along fairly well. So we go across. I don't know if you can see that, what Jeffrey's showing up there. Top end of Australia, which is the highest part, going up into Torres Strait, across to Gove or Nullarbor, and then across to Arnhem Land. And then Jeffrey and Cameron are leaving us there. Oh, we're picking up, wait there, I've got to go back a bit. We're picking up Lisa in Cairns, all being well. She's joining us in Cairns, which is over on the east coast, up towards the top. We'll spend a few days in Cairns. We'll go up in the train up to Kuranda and have a look around Kuranda, and then catch the Skylink or Skylift back down to the coast, and then we'll head north. And that's about the trip up to Cairns. And as I said, Cameron and Jeffrey are leaving us in Cairns, and then my wife and another friend of mine, Glenn Martin, joining us in Cairns, and we're going to go around to the Kimberleys for 2 months, and then coming back, pick up another couple of friends, and they're going to come back down do the reverse trip back down to the Gold Coast. Hoping to get home somewhere about end of October or November, middle of November. Yeah, that's about what we plan on doing on this trip anyway. Other trips, my wife and I done a reasonable amount of sailing to Newcastle, Solomon Islands, Louisiade. We've done it a few times, and up and down the east coast. Been down to Tassie, back up, been on the east coast plenty of times. So, but this will only be my second time in the Kimberley, so I'm quite looking forward to once we get up further north, because it'll be something I haven't done for about 26 years. Was the last time I went to the Kimberleys, and that's more than I was a lot younger then. So that's about it. And by road, I'm just looking at it here, it's about 3,472 kilometres. Is that right, Jeffrey?
Yep, 3,472 kilometres, yep.
That's by road, and we've probably got to go twice that distance by the time we go up the coast and in and out. Hey?
I'm going to bring that up.
It's pretty hard to do that because we go in and out a lot of inlets down the Gulf. Yeah, that's about what we're doing. Now, how far is that? Total distance is 4,000 kilometres, and that's 2,485 statutory miles, and we're nautical miles, so it's a little bit less, 2,300 probably naughties miles, that is. Yeah, so, and that's to Darwin. Then we go down the Kimberleys. We go try and get down as far as the horizontal waterfalls, which is not that far north of Broome. So that's our plan there. Put some crab pots. Hopefully we'll catch some crabs. We caught some fish today and some fish yesterday. So everyone's sort of a bit sick of fish tonight. We ate it all. We only got about 10 moderate-sized fish, so we've eaten a lot of fish today, and we got something to eat on the trip tomorrow. Yeah, that's about where we're up to.
Right.
Cameron,
Yes.
I see you put your name down as a deckhand.
Well, look, to be honest, I'm a bit of a hack sailor. We've been sailing for about 6-7 years now. Primarily, every year we go to Hervey Bay and sail with the whales, to which I'm skippering. But even 7 days here with Bruce has kind of gave me the realisation that I'm quite a hack sailor when it comes to the real deal. And really, we're doing the real deal at the moment. So it's been... every day is a great opportunity to learn, and we're having the time of our. Well, I'm having the time of my life, if I can be honest. So I think the biggest thing is being involved in the open water, Jeff. I think Jeff comes with me every year to Hervey Bay, and he's been to Greece. We sailed to Greece as well, but the water conditions is different. One, of course, we're in the safety of a bay or with the mountains. We're out in the open water, so things kind of get real, don't they, Jeff?
They do. So, first experience of night sailing, that was a thrilling ride up there with Dreamworld or Movie World.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't
How about
scared,
morning?
but certainly, let's call it a heightened experience. We were all on 3-hour shifts, and mine was from, 11 till midnight, or 8 till midnight, 9 till midnight, and then Jeff, you took over, and then by I think 2 o'clock, all the wind went a bit crazy.
Can I butt in there? We had the spinnaker up at the time,
Oh yes,
and no other sails, and the wind swung around on our head. It was only. Didn't swing around for long, but long enough to wrap the spinnaker around the headsail. The furled up headsail, I might add. So we ended up getting that down, put our working sails up with just the main heading. And we continued on like that. So I think we're about 15 miles out, 20 miles out from Musgrave at the time. But the boys, we started off with the people that knew the top of the sail and the bottom of the sail, and that was about it. We get even. We got able seaman 1 and able seaman 2.
almost able. But and in saying that, Bruce rules the roost with a fabulous tough love, and it keeps us on our toes. But there's no room for mistakes. And when we do it, he pulls us up, and we just do it again and do it again and do it again. And after about what we did day 7 or 8 now, or 6 or 7, I'm starting to think, I'm becoming, I won't use the word proficient, but we're to a standard that's almost acceptable. So, and we all have our own little duties on the boat, pulling the sails or turning the winches or pulling the sheet lines. We're getting used to all the jargon too, aren't we, Jeff?
Yes, we are. No question about it.
Yep, 100% improvement. I reckon 100% on 1% before.
We were right on the bottom, so you could. There was only one way up.
No, fishing skills, they're improving. Everyone can tie their knots now, especially when we're fishing in a rocky area today. Jeffrey's really good at tying new hooks with stickers on.
Oh, you're just showing that's us leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, that's home. Is that home?
Yeah, home port. Yeah.
There we are, coming out of the canal. It's home port of the Runaway Bay. And the photos you see there are us just coming out the entrance of the canal and turning north when we come out of here. That's the Broadwater you see, which is an island, all South Australia environment. That creates a barrier from the ocean. And the Broadwater now is a very, very, very busy place.
And Bruce, tell them the contrast. We're at North Keppel now, and we're the only boat here.
Oh, yeah, where we're anchored over here in Amsterdam Beach, it's a very good cruise, to be honest. But a lot of people get a bit worried. It's fairly shallow and there's rocks around. But they're not all around the place. There's a few hundred metres of very safe anchorages, especially in the winds we've got now. And that you're looking back down the water to the paradise where they spoke to the knock from the Gold Coast. Southport first and service. Yeah, we're anchored here. We're in low tide. We've got about 700 mil under us. Under the keel. We draw 850 mil and 700, so we've got plenty to do. And I'm anchored here in my last boat, which drew 1.9 metres on the time. You just anchor in a slightly different spot and it's fine. But it's a lovely spot. Some beautiful walks. We walked over to Maze Bay yesterday, but there's some lovely walks going up the hills. There, what have we got tomorrow? We've got only about 47 nautical miles to go tomorrow. Then we got to do about 100. Well, it's about 160 next day. So we'll do another night sail. Hopefully, we won't have to wrap around anything.
But the night sail, it does make the difference, doesn't it, Jeff? We're finding that, what would you call it? Challenging in a positive way. Because, again, poor old Bruce, he has to have a sleep. So at some point, we are it. And we've got a navigation chart. And the main thing what we're doing is making sure we don't collide into anything. It signals to show that there's other boats coming in the other directions or from wherever. Like the other night was about 9 o'clock and we could see a boat coming directly towards us. And I said, Bruce, he's coming, see, he'll turn. We've got right away. And we could watch, I think it was 5-10 minutes between us. And sure enough, he turned and allowed us to pass because we had the wind on our side. But it's not for the casual. You have to be attentive. You know, see a boat coming next minute, there he is right next to us. So you can't be casual when you're on the watch.
No, you can't watch iPad. I can't watch iPhone.
No.
What did that, Cameron? Was that a no?
No, I agree. Yes. No, you can't.
Yeah.
He's ripped me a couple of times, don't you worry.
It's all right in the day, but you've got to be fairly well on the ball. But we do have AIS, and AIS is very, very good worldwide. And most, about 7 or 8 I don't know. It just allows a person to see on your screen, because we've got a couple of plotters on this boat, see on either of the plotters that come up as a triangle in sailing boats or in small boats, and the bigger boats come up with a slightly different shape. The boat you're looking at now, that's the spinnaker. So we sailed through the day and kept it up all night. And it was good until about 1:30, I think. Then the wind changed slightly and we weren't quick enough changing course. And by the time I got up, it's really good to wrap around the pencil. And that's the Hessel fill. So we probably did about 100 nautical miles with the Hessel. With the spinnaker up, just cruising along. Not very fast, were down about 3 knots at one stage, and then I think we were going on 6 knots, and we didn't want to go to 6 knots because we go right there in the dark. Didn't want to run crap outside, so we slowed down. Yeah. But I think the boys getting used to the Starlink business. They're starting to realise that it's can be fairly intense sometimes, especially when we got to get sails changed over monthly. That area we're looking at now is just beside Double Island Point, where we came into at night time.
We need to get you closer to your Bruce. Yeah.
Talking a bit quietly now.
Very cool.
No, not yet, that's too far away from you.
Well, they might be.
Really can go.
All right. And that's Rainbow Beach, appropriately enough, inside Double Island Point. Well, that is another area. Down on your right-hand end of that is the Rainbow Beach community, and further around is the Victoria Swordway Park, which was very tranquil when we went across. We didn't even get any water on the decks.
That's his point of view. I thought it was quite crazy. But anyway, that
It can be. It can be. Many people are around there. But today we went across wasn't too bad. And we don't have too many of those bar crossings to go, to be honest.
so much.
One of those Cameron Harry's midday beer. Anyone knows Cameron knows it's not a beer.
It's Coke. Just as bad. At zero Coke.
Well, there's a fishing line rods out. Well, we haven't got any fish on the rods. We've lost 4 big lures on the rods, and but no fish. No, not on those rods anyway. And the lures, Jeffrey bought them along, and then we lost another one, or another 2 that we had on board.
We stocked up in your poon ready.
So we're ready to lose some more now.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we've had no moon and clear skies. So at night time you can go there, see the Southern Cross, the Orion. It's just so good. Over land. I think you got some star shots there. Well, that's that we just threw the vinegar up and without any else.
And again, Jeffrey and I have never had those experiences, so it's wonderful. And the other interesting part is that how quickly the wind can change. You know, the other night we had hardly any wind, so we were under engine. We had the autopilot going, and Bruce was tinkering with the anchor machine, the anchor engine, and I was holding the tools for him and going, oh, this is a bit dull and boring. And within half an hour, we had 20 to 25 knot winds blowing us crazily. And for inexperienced people like us, we go, my goodness.
Yeah. Well, coming into Musgrave, you might remember we had this ball following it. It was going about the same speed we were. It was going very slowly, and we were only getting along 4 or 5 knots. So we'd have a little bit of rain one time, then the wind would change direction, and it just went on and on. And that's Musgrave. That's when we're coming in. It was quite bright there a minute ago. That was just the sun shining on the island just as we're coming through the coral reef. There's an area about 50 metres long, and wide is probably about 20 metres wide. That's clear of coral, clear of shallow coral. And there it is there, just sun shining on the island. That's a glass bottom boat that's firmly anchored out there, or the cruise boats that come out. Yeah, Musgrave is an area that anyone hasn't been to see. It's worth going to see. It's a lovely place. There it is there. That's where the sun's shining and dull everywhere else. You can camp on that barge on the right hand side. Or clamping up. They do.
Your wife wants you to come. Okay. All right, I've got them in the mic.
How's that, Jeffrey?
That's good.
Well, the cover. Yeah, we're just walking through the trees on Main Road. There weren't any birds nesting this time of the year. The Bostonians. But in a couple of months, there'll be just full of birds. Thousands upon thousands of them. You can see those dark spots. Some ponds, some look carefully, and then they're snaked over from us. There's thousands of different birds nesting on turtles come up on the shore. There was a couple of turtle tracks that we saw that were there.
Yeah.
They just came up the time before we got there, I think, you were saying, which is out of season. But have a very boring season. But they said that the little ones were also coming out. So it's the wrong time of year for that. At least there's not many sharks in the lagoon waiting for them.
Well, she was saying she was fighting all the birds away so they wouldn't eat the babies.
Yeah, because they came out in the daytime.
Yeah.
Normally they try and come out so they can get a free run to the shore. There's a lighthouse on it. They're showing. So, have never been to that going out on the trip. They got underwater viewing and the sorry. What do you got, Jeffrey? That's why the turtles come up, and that's where we saw the tracks of them up and down. We're there at low tide. Good time, you can right out there. That's how you can see the coral sitting up with a tiny little passage working way through.
Tell them about the sharks, Bruce. How you told me to go over to the sharks there.
Oh, yeah. As the tide comes, little reef sharks, black tips, or the white tips, the little ones come in first. As soon as the reef deep enough, they'll swim up there and they congregate 5 or 10 little sharks together and they'll chase any fish they can find in there. Remember I said, before we saw them, I said, you'll see little sharks coming out. So Cameron, some movement there, they were just coming in at sunset. Beautiful, isn't it? Sunset on the Lady Musgrave. Coming from the east coast, we don't get sunset on the water much.
Hey, Jeff, have you got the video going in that reef? The other one where that narrow... Oh, we'll get to that. I apologise.
That's right.
Yeah, but the boys are getting used to cooking. Now we had Cameron, who it appears to me doesn't cook very much at home, though he said he's done weather every now and then, but I think it might be every then rather than now. And he's getting used to the cooking idea, the wiping up idea. And
do it right first time.
we don't have a big galley here. It's not that big a boat. It's about 13 metres by 7 metres wide. 3 fridges, or two fridges and one permanent built-in fridge. That's us selling it. But we don't normally say that. It's just that we've had very comfortable. And it was forecast to stay calm. It did stay calm. It's just when that little squall went past us, the wind came from a different direction. But it was, I don't think it got it more than 10 knots. I think it stayed around about 6 or 7 knots most of the night. We were getting along at 3 or 4 or 5 knots. We didn't want to get in there early. As it was, we still had to slow down, pull ourselves down a bit. Yeah, back to the cooking. So Cameron, who is a bit of a fussy as far as type of food is now eating everything.
I haven't got a choice, Bruce, but I haven't got a choice, but I'm enjoying every bit of it.
Bolt Reef.
Is that Musgrave or
Bolt.
Oh, Bolt? Right. This is Bolt Reef. Yeah? There's no land there. It's just reef. But all in there, we just went fairly close to it, but ended on our course to Fitzroy. And it was right there, so couldn't see any reef.
And interestingly enough, I wouldn't say I'm fatigued, but there is a certain, I think there's a boat fitness that you have to get because I'm in a, 6, 7 days in, I'm tired. And I suppose it's, and I'm pretty fit for 61, but I think Jeff, you're feeling it the same, aren't you?
Yeah. I think it's just sunshine, the swimming in the ocean, just the boat swaying.
Well, the boat's moving all the time. It's like when you go to the physio and they put rubber balls that move all the time.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like that. Which one's this? Is Fitzroy? Yeah, Fitzroy. This is us entering Fitzroy. See the waves break on how calm it is on the inside. That's the outside of it. And we're coming around now. And it's low tide. You can see all the deck coral up and all the live coral obviously still out there in the water. But there's no land per se at high tide. There's no land whatsoever here.
Wow. And we're about 40 nautical miles from the mainland.
You wouldn't have got any film. Any film coming in. It was barely calling it fishing before we got there. Before we went through the entrance. May not have any film. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we are.
You can see we're not very far. It's quite a narrow entrance. And that's coming into Fitzroy. It's not quite as easy as it's not hard, but it's not easy. You've got to be a bit careful. The boat follows us in. It's stars because it's not too. The Southern Cross for people in the Southern Hemisphere. Pretty much Brian. Saucepan of some people. Yeah, the stars are clear. We don't have any light pollution.
That's a good one. That's the 20 knot winds with the 25 knot gusts. Explain, Bruce, how that wind comes from the Whitsundays down and affects us.
What's that?
This is the other night when it went from calm to crazy, and you said it was westerlies coming from the Whitsundays in a high.
Yeah, there's a high off the Whitsundays and counterclockwise wind, which is pretty unusual this time of year. So we're having west falling west northwest. That's the old resort on Great Cappel Island. The GFC, they built that. One of many on the old swimming pool up there. For those remember. And that's the northern end of the GKI bar and field area. GKI is on the mainland. People can come across it about half an hour. Inside, you got all sorts of things. Diving, paddle boards, all sorts.
Yapoon.
Yeah, it's just coming in. When we came in, some boat tied up getting filled, fishing boat tied up getting filled, and we just got waiting. No unloading. So we left and we got fuel from the garage. Carried it on in.
Really pretty.
Yeah, that's my tied up there. That's our tender. We changed our rib to a table tender or a thinny for this trip because of the areas we're going. There we are out there. Only such a lovely area. People get. It was just yesterday, wasn't it? It was calm yesterday. Yeah, it is yesterday. There's a serious stimulus on the.
This was awesome.
Oh yeah, that's remember the Forehead had TV 3 or 4 years ago. They filmed on that. Straight at the end of that bay, you can just see there's a long up in Holland. Here we are. Panning right there. No. Oh no, I thought it was. There it is there, but it's not a long way away. And this is still on not went for a half an hour walk out back. It's lovely. That's another part of it. Is that the only house we've on? And it is the only house. Education, very far from here. But that's the only house on the island, as far as I know. Yeah, that's the camping area, just kind of where we are. Not one soul there. Mate, maintain my pumps and pull off, I guess. Yeah, that's us walking over to the side.
You need to get closer.
Can't hear? Oh, I'm in trouble again. Bloody hell, I'll be on top.
And Bruce, explain as we're going up, will we be hugging? Oh, that's a nice photo. Will we be hugging the coast, or how far off the coast will we be sailing all the way up?
Well, we won't be far off the coast at all until we get up to go across the Gulf of Carpenter. We'll be probably within Scoreford, up at Scoreford, probably the furthest we'll be out. I'm not sure how far out Lizard is. Far off. So we'll be fine. Within 10 miles, probably we'll look out. Till we get to Gulf of Carpenter, we've got a few hundred nautical miles to cross the Gulf, and then we'll go to the coast again to Darwin. It's only until we go to which is after Darwin. We're out to sea. Yeah. Well, there's a. Is that North Keppel? It's pretty more people. They don't seem to.
And the amazing thing, we've got telephone and internet.
Well, we're not that far. About 8 miles from Roslyn Harbour to here. We've still got 2 parts on our phones. Look at that, it's beautiful. Went for a swim. Cameron hasn't even started. Jeffrey hasn't seen start. That's our Starlink. And it works well. It's hard to pick up sometimes, but once it's connected, it seems to stay connected. But it uses a bit of power, so when we got a bit of cloud around, we can't use it.
It's a good view.
Where are we doing it? Where we are now? I can't see it. Yeah, that's where we are. We were fishing on those 2 islands in the tender. We got a bit of rough. Because this was yesterday, today we got about 20 knots of breeze. Yesterday was about 5.
And Bruce, mention how we got those harnesses and then you strap us onto the deck of a night time.
The what?
Out with the harness and we strap ourselves to the deck.
Yeah, we got it. I've got a rule. If you're fairly safe property, so night time no one's allowed outside. Unless they've got a jacket on and a harness and someone else is in the cockpit. You can't just go out there on yourself. By yourself, unless there's someone in the cockpit watching you.
Hey, one of our, and you've got Cameron, because 3 of you, a bit of feedback.
You want me to go out there? I'll be evicted.
Oh.
Can I get you Cameron on his phone?
Why is he getting evicted?
Oh, because he's not getting feedback apparently.
Oh. Come on in, Brucey. We're out in the cockpit.
Yeah, we're facing west northwest.
We've got the lights.
We are.
Yeah, the
And
lights of your poo.
and we're looking into a white screen. How's that, Jeffrey? We still got feedback? We got the thumbs up. Yeah. Yes. So it's really nice sitting back here. But anyway, we were talking about safety. So one of my biggest worries, and also my wife's biggest worry, is going out on deck at night time to do something with the sail. So everyone's clipped on with either one or two harness straps. And as I said, only no one that goes out on deck without someone watching. We've got everyone's got their own life jacket that fits them. Everyone can put them on and off in a few seconds now. So it's quite good. Now, when we came in the other night, once it got up to about 20, 25 knots, everyone had their jackets on. It's not a drama to put them on and not a drama to wear them.
Especially when you're getting on the top. Bruce and I got on the top the other night, and it was shaking.
It was, yeah. So you got harnesses on, and they might not stop you falling completely overboard. They slow you down, and then you fasten to the boat, and we can get people back on board. Well, that's the theory anyway.
Best to dangle a little than to be left behind.
Yeah, at night time. Yeah. There's today, is it? No. Oh, you took that.
Oh, I must have.
Yeah, that's Jeffrey. And that's the boat you can see in the background. As you can see, no one else here. It's our little tender. And it's pretty good around here. There's no crocodiles, or not. There has never been. I don't think anyone's ever seen a crocodile here. I'm not saying there's not any, but if there are, they're very few and far between. I've never seen one.
I have an acute fear of sharks, and I've just added crocodile to the list too, because Bruce did swap the inflatable dinghy for an aluminium one, and I said, why is that? He said, because so the crocodiles can't punch a hole in it, and kind of takes you to that next level of imagination, as you can imagine. You've seen a few up there.
Seen heaps. As you get further north, you see heaps of them.
Wasn't there one on the beach where you saw they were logs, and then
that was up on the Tiwi Islands up north of Darwin. Yeah. I was this today when we were walking up the creek. He walked up through the mangroves today just for a sticky beak, see what's up there. You never know what you find. And often the easiest way to get through the mangroves is to walk in the water. Though in this case on North Keppel, it's the water's all sand underneath it, so it's not muddy. Just yabby holes. You can see those little holes, yabby holes. I reckon you probably put your crab pots in up there.
No, really?
Maybe catch a crab, yeah, but I've never done it.
I caught my first fish yesterday, ever, at 61.
Yeah. So there's some of our instruments behind us, but they're not our main ones. Our main ones are on the helm stations. So we got a plotter on the port side and a plotter on the starboard side, wind instruments on both sides, helm station on both sides, on port and starboard.
And the other thing that we noticed, Jeff and I had never imposed, was the red light. I'll just switch it over and see if they can notice on the screen. Explain that, Bruce.
Well, as a lot of people realise, well, you just saw the red glow then now. When you've got the red lights on, night vision is not so affected. So when the weather or when we're starting to do work in the cockpit at night time, pulling and pushing sails, etc., we turn the red lights on and it just gives you some night vision. We also wear headlights too, which are pretty handy. and there's good deck lights, so you can see the sails quite easily at night time. You've got the headlights on. You can look up at the sails as you're sailing along to adjust them at all. All the people that are sailors will know what I'm talking about. What else? Yeah, as I said, we've got 2 helm stations. One right on the. We'll get some photos of that for next time. One right on the outboard on the port, and one outboard on the starboard. And each we've got a plotter, wind instrument, depth instruments, speeds, etc., and compass on each side. We've only got 4 or 5 winches on the boat. We got Cameron Armstrong for pulling up the mainsail. He can get it he can get it up to the cross arms. Depends on the night before.
That's right, and it's ironic that at 61 I'm the young man here on the boat. Good to have a lad on board, I suppose.
But I reckon I can get it up further than Cameron. Well, we got to try that one.
All technique.
Yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's about how the boat's set up. We got a wind generator, which I might add is not very bloody good. It's supposed to be a good British one, but it's not very good. Yeah, we should take a photo next time, a video of the cockpit.
Yeah. If I turn this around, could they see it, Jeff, or they probably wouldn't be able to see much?
Can they?
I don't know. We'll have a look. That's how they say. You can see there's one steering.
Oh, the lights are on.
That's a homemade fish.
That's our fish board at the back of the boat. Gets in the way a bit when we're sailing. Solar panels, and that's the port side barbecue up the top there, which has got to be covered up before we leave tomorrow morning.
But this is where we do most of the living, to be honest, out the back here.
It's getting a bit cool. Yeah, here and in the saloon where I was evicted from is where we do 99% of our living. We really only go down below to sleep and change. If the truth be known, that's why the main part of these boats, I always believe, is the cockpit out where we are now, and the saloon where Jeffrey's residing and managing this operation.
And again, I'm not talking you up, Bruce, but the eye to detail, where you've got something for everything. You've got spots for this and different tools, and he's got a whole box full of special everything from WD-40 to all over.
Yeah, you got to. Well, we're away for 7 months, and you can't just stop at a garage on the way.
It's true.
So nearly all boats carry a lot of stuff. Secret is to carry it and not use it. That's hopefully what you try and do. And yeah, we had the anchor. We had to pull the anchor winch apart as Cameron alluded to earlier on. It was coming up very slowly. It was arcing out across the commutator. So we cleaned that when there wasn't much wind traveling along. That's just before the wind came in. We finished at about 2 or 3 minutes before the wind got over 15 knots.
Bruce goes, "Oh, I think we better put the sails up." And next minute, up come the wind.
Yeah, came up pretty quickly, which it does. Anyway, that's the first part of our trip. That's it. We've done maybe 1/6 to 1/8 of our trip. I can't remember how many nautical miles we've done. Probably only done about 250 nautical miles.
Is that all?
Maybe 300. I don't know, without looking.
So we've been a bit sport. We took a vote, and like I said, we've had a full day here because we didn't want to go to the location somewhere else and not get good internet for Jeff's show tonight. But the trade-off is we're going to do a 24-hour sail the day after next to get up towards Whitsundays.
But it's only 24 hours, and when you've gone across an ocean, which is a week or 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, 24 hours is not too much. Then the boys are getting used to it. Actually, I think Cameron looks forward to it, and Jeffrey looks forward to it, except for the non-sleeping bit.
Yeah, Bruce says though, don't get soft. He doesn't want us getting soft, which is really cool.
Well, the day's broken down really into watches. Not that we adhere to it strictly in the daytime, but we've all got 4-hour watches through the day. So from 0600 to 1000, 1000 to 1400, 1400 to 1800, and so at 1800, which is 6 o'clock at night, we go on to 3-hour watches. So then that goes through to 6 in the morning. And we're here to the night one more than the daytime. The daytime, if someone wants to do something else, we don't worry too much. Someone will do the watch. It's not very strenuous when you've got autopilot. What you're really doing is watching for other vessels and watching for wind changes, which when you've got southeast trades blowing, that doesn't change much, only a couple of degrees. Yeah, but we're all getting... I haven't had this particular boat for long. I only bought it in 22. So I'm still getting used to it. And but she's a good boat, goes fast, and a strong boat.
Look at it, fabulous, and it feels good when we're sitting on 10 knots, 8, 9, 10 knots.
It does. It's nice.
It does get the adrenaline sitting nicely.
Yeah, it's a nice speed. If you can do 8 knots, 7 or 10 knots for a few hours through the day on coastal sailing when you're changing direction and mucking around a lot, yeah, it's quite nice. Not like it when you're ocean sailing, when you might do 10 or 12 or 15 knots for hours on end.
That's a bit scary.
Oh, it's
exhausting.
Yeah. But you think of the round world races, they do it for days on end. Or even faster. Yeah, so that's us. And tomorrow we're off. So I don't know when Jeffrey's going to do the next one. Thursday. What's today? Today's Tuesday, yeah?
Today's Thursday.
Oh, today's Thursday, is
it? Every Thursday.
Oh, every Thursday.
Show.
Yeah. Well, that's another reason we stayed here, because we got reception here. If we'd gone up to where we would have been, otherwise we would have been no reception area except for Starlink. And Starlink, while it seems to work really well, it after we hook up, it does use a bit of power, and we don't run generators, just solar panels. So I do have a wind generator, which is turned off at present.
So we've got to be vigilant on water, electricity.
Yeah. Water. Yeah, well, everyone's learning. Showers are very brief. Let's put it that way. One a day, but very brief. And we ended up going into Yeppoon. I still think we had a couple of 100 litres left, so that wasn't too bad.
So we used about 400 litres in the week.
We used,
yeah.
It's got half on about the Starlink. For other people who want to go travelling, rugby, for example, we bought the Gen 3 unit, and it's got 2 ports in there where you put Cat 6, Cat 5 cables.
Oh dear. Good like that.
Also works Wi-Fi. The boys have said it does draw on a lot of power. It takes a while to calibrate to pick up the Starlink satellite train.
You did good, Bruce.
So we had turned it off, and then we've come several hours later to pick it up. And it gets rather frustrating because it's a bad connection, after pulling out plug and putting it back in, and then all of a sudden it picks it. So, hang on a second.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to talk about the Starlink. I had myself muted. Yeah. So Gen 3, we got Starlink roaming. I also have to let people know who live in the southeast Queensland district and over in Perth. We're in a sold-out area, which means that Mr. Musk has decided that he's not going to put more people onto the system because it's going to reduce the actual bandwidth for downloads and uploads. So until more satellites go up or people drop off, that's the way it's been done. But we went for roaming, and we expected to get onto the Starlink outside for people who understand the Rainbow Beach, up by Inskip Point. That's when we thought we'd get the signal. But we actually got it sitting outside Runaway Bay at Bruce's marina. So we only got 14 megabytes up and down in an area that was sold out. But there's been times there we've got 360, 380 downloads, and we've got 56 uploads. So for what it serves for people who are getting out from the major telephone towers, it's a fantastic investment. But just be aware of the amount of power that it uses. And you can have as many units on it as possible. We're taking the unlimited version, so I'm just giving it the thumbs up as a commercial. I'm also going to talk about the shirt.
About the what?
The shirt, yeah. So we've got a few people out there who start going out the bush or want to go sailing. If you want to go sailing, these shirts are from BCF. It hasn't got their name written all over it because I'm not one of those who self-promote, BCF. But I am talking about it today because these are very light shirts, and you can roll them up and they clip on at the top. Fantastic piece of kit. The other piece, I haven't got it here, is a little hat that's got a flap on the back, and that's been really awesome. Highly recommend getting Polaroid sunglasses.
Yes.
I highly recommend getting these, what do you call those little cameras at the top here? Oh, the lights?
Headlights.
Yep. Highly recommend having those. Recommend board shorts, not the full length ones, with the gutsets in it, so you can go around with any underwear, but you can just go jumping in the surf or into the ocean there. It's fantastic. Anything else you can suggest, Cameron?
No.
Yeah. The booties.
Yeah.
Scuba diving booties. When we walked around Lady Musgrave, with all that piercing shells and stuff. Yeah. Highly recommend those as well. That's
And plenty of lures.
Plenty of lures.
Yeah. Hats that cover the back of your neck. Awesome. Exactly right, Lachlan. Yeah, so, plenty of lures. Yeah, very good. And the proficiency in putting sinkers and hooks on is now, I'm the king of that now. So I've learnt a lot. Thank you very much.
I'll just go back to lures. A lot of people might not realise that on the Queensland coast, there's a lot of green zones. So before we fish anywhere, that's when we're moving, not when we're stationary. It's quite easy. But when we got our lures out, or before we put our lures out, we got to make sure that we're in a green zone. We're not in a green zone, because there's a lot of areas, especially around the bunker group where we've just come from, but all the way up the coast, that they restrict or totally restrict fishing. People don't realise how many areas there are, but there is a lot of them, trying and keep the fish habitat, keep the fish going. There's so many people out fishing now with outboards and GPSs that they know exactly where the fish are. So you've got to have a lot of green zones to keep the fish there. And there is, and they're pretty strict on enforcing that, especially in the season.
Oh, very good.
That's just...
If anybody wants to follow us, I've gone and put, actually, I've got ahead of myself there. It's actually radio, it's Facebook, Jeffrey Shaw, Jeffrey.shaw.351. Hang on a sec, I've put in, it's not quite right, that's only one there. This is Cameron's. If you want to follow what we're doing, it's facebook.com/Cameron Monley.
It's you.
Yeah, with Bruce, it's we only found out late this afternoon. He's actually got 2 Facebook pages. So the one that we've been using has got the 76 friends on it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just a
So
quick one
the other
too.
one
Oh no,
has only got 8 friends on it.
Oh,
So
we've got to get early.
it's 8 o'clock.
just to be aware
We
of it.
just come up lately.
Yeah.
Last few minutes.
All right. So that's how you do it. And then if you're interested in see where we are, these particular sites you can go to, type in
We've got to put that cover on
vesselfinder.com.
the barbecue before we go anyway.
The name of the vessel is the pub,
It's in that
or you can go to
locker
the
over there, in that rope locker.
progress of a vehicle on marinetraffic.com. Just type in the name of the pub. All right, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're done.
Correct. All right. Love your work. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And thank you, Bruce, for inviting us on board. I'll
Thank-
never be the same.
A lot of people say, "Oh, that could be good." And thank you, gentlemen, for coming with me, putting up with my shit.
Not too bad. Not too
It's
bad.
one Sagittarian to another Sagittarian to a Liberian. All right. Hang on. Sorry. Okay. Thank you, Lachlan. Okay, end of stream.